2024 ended about 2 months ago, and most people have done their year in review for anime, and I'm now deciding to do mine. I'm going to rate every single anime I watched in 2024, and at the end of the video, I will reveal my anime of the year. I only have two rules that I must follow. One, I have must watch the anime to completion in 2024, and number two, the anime must not be on going into 2025. So season 1 of Apothecary Diaries is eligible because it finished in 2024, but Blue Box and ReZero season 3 are not eligible since they did not finish in 2024. With that out of the way, let's get started.
Rising of the Shield Hero Season 3. I was not a huge fan of Season 2 of Shield Hero, and Season 3 was way better. That is due to the fact that Malti became more involved with the story and made it far more interesting of a watch. It still wasn't as good as Season 1. That's because Season 1 has a huge hook at the beginning, and that hook was resolved before the end of Season 1. And the show has not reached that same height for me yet. Season 6, Girlfriend Girlfriend. Girlfriend Girlfriend is basically what if a harem anime where the main character actually dated multiple people. It is basically your normal harem nonsense. It can be sweet at times, but it's still full of degeneracy. And I like degeneracy in anime, especially if it has a hilarious dub, which it does. Light 6, Classroom of the Elite Season 3. I love Season 3 of the anime because it brought a new dimension to the story with more involvement of the second years, as well as providing interesting concepts in terms of challenges the class will face, mainly forcing them to eliminate one person from the class. At times I felt there was pacing issues where they're moving way too fast, but regardless, I loved this season. Strong 7, The Dangers in My Heart Season 2. If you told me this anime would be one of the best romance anime of the year, I would have called you a liar. But this season was probably peak romance, and it reached an ending where most romance fans dream of, where the main love interests get with each other, and it was wonderful. Light 9, Hokkaido Girls Are Super Adorable. I read the first couple of chapters of manga, and I found it was okay, and I watched the anime, and it was just okay. It doesn't really bring anything new or interesting to the table, besides being an ad for Hokkaido. It was nothing really too special for me. Light 6, The Apothecary Diaries. Watching the first half of this season, I would have easily called it my anime of the year, but then the second half did not reach that same height for me, mainly because Mama left to go to the main palace, and I didn't find anything going on in there very interesting. But when she went back into the interior palace, I thought it was way better. But regardless, it was still a very good show. Strong 8, Solo Leveling. Easily the most hyped up anime of the year. And watching this season, I just thought it was okay. Watching it made me just think about most generic shonen stuff. It didn't do anything new or interesting for me. It was just a decent show. Decent 7, A Sign of Affection. This was a very decent romance series with an interesting plot twist where the main character was deaf. And it did something that a lot of romance series tend to not do within the first season, where the main character gets with their main love interest. But watching this show, it feels weird at times. That's because some characters treat the main female character in a way that she needs to be protected, where she does not really need to be protected. And it comes off as they're only doing it because she has a disability. Light 8, Bottom tier character Tomozaki, second stage. Watching this season felt like a blur, outside of anything involving Minami. And for me, if a show just becomes a blur, it was probably not a good show. Strong 5, Shangri-La Frontier. A show where the concept is about playing a video game and actually does it very well. The game actually feels like it's a real video game, and the mechanics within the game seem very thought out. For me, this is the best way to adapt an anime about a fictional video game. Strong 8, Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night. For me, this show was good, but it falls into the trap that a lot of original anime fall into, and that is delivering a lackluster ending. It tells a very good story about friendship and going after what your dreams are, but the ending did not make me feel satisfied, which was disappointing. Season 7, Mashle Season 2. Season 2 Mashle did a lot of stuff that I loved, mainly getting more serious with the story and the whole world, but the comedy in this anime does not do it for me, and it makes me enjoy it way less. Strong 6, Jobless Reincarnation Season 2 Part 2. This season of Jobless Reincarnation did a lot of stuff that I love, mainly getting more deeper and emotional with Rudeus and his family, and the fact that he's starting a family of his own. And it had many impactful things, both good and bad. Light 8, Sound Euphonium Season 3. Going into this year, this was my most anticipated anime. That's because Sound Euphonium is my favorite anime of all time, and Season 3 solidified that. It introduced a bunch of new characters that I liked. The animation was on peak, the music was on peak, and the ending left me in tears. just for the fact that I know this series is over now. A series that has been part of my life for about 8 years, and it was a wonderful journey. Light 9, Go Go Loser Ranger. This anime is basically if the Power Rangers was the boys. It provides interesting concepts where the minions are the good guys, technically, and the Power Rangers are the bad guys, technically. There's a lot of interesting concepts that I like from the show, namely the weapons and what limits they have, and I'm looking forward to season 2 of this anime. Light 7, Demon Slayer Hashira Training Arc. This season felt like it was a filler arc, outside of the last episode, which was probably one of the best anime episodes of the year. We did get to see some cool stuff with different fights, but it was nothing really special outside the last episode. Light 6, Girls Band Cry. Watching this show reminds me a lot of Bocchi the Rock without the social anxiety. It's the usual girls start their own band, they become friends, but this time there was a lot of more drama with it in terms of breaking up and getting back together. And I really thought it was just a fun show. Light 8, Konosuba Season 3. This season was just more Konosuba, but this time the main focus was on darkness, which I love because she's my favorite out of the 3 main girls. There were some sweet moments within this season, and the comedy was still funny. Light 8, Kaiju number 8. A lot of people were hyped about this series because it brought something new to the table, especially since the main protagonist is an adult. But watching it, it just felt like was watching another shonen, which is not a bad thing because I like shonen. And it delivers on what I like about shonen, which is the action, the world building, and providing likable characters. And it had fantastic animation. Season 7, Windbreaker. Windbreaker probably has some of the best fight scenes this year on a consistent basis. It is the complete opposite of Tokyo Revengers for me, where I don't like the characters as much, but has fantastic animation. But it doesn't have a story that I really care about as of yet. But hopefully that may be fixed in season 2. Light 7, Haikyuu, Battle of the Garbage Dump. I am a manga reader of Haikyuu, and I was disappointed that this match was not going to be a TV anime. That is because content will be cut if it was a movie. But watching the movie, it was still fantastic. And if you're anime only, you would not notice a difference. And it was probably for the better because we got way more interesting animation as well as different perspective for the match. It was honestly fantastic. Light 9, The Date Alive Season 5. This is the final season of Date Alive, and it was alright. There were some interesting plot twists, but nothing on the level of season 4, and the ending was okay at best. It was also sad to see a show that I first started when I was getting back into anime end. Season 6, Spy Family Code White. This movie showcases Spy Family at its best, where Lloyd, Anya, and Yor are all doing their thing. But when they do their own thing, they always come together as a family and grow a stronger bond with each other. Light 8, Delicious in Dungeon. I normally don't like anything done by Studio Trigger, but Delicious in Dungeon will be the exception to that rule. It combines 2 of my favorite anime, Food Wars with its cooking and One Piece with its world building, because every time they make a dish, it helps expand the world of this dungeon, and it makes me more interested about this world the deeper we go and the different monsters they cook. And I honestly cannot wait for season 2. Season 9, Undead Unluck. Watching Undead Unluck is like watching Fire Force, where it provides a lot of interesting powers, as well as these powers being linked to this mysterious world. The show is very fast paced, which I love. I love these characters. There are a lot of interesting plot twists that goes on with this show, and it makes me curious about what this world truly is. Season 7, From Me to You Season 3. Watching this season felt like I was watching peak romance. That's because the romance was not focused on Sawako and Kazuhaya. It focused on Sanada, Yoshida, Yano, and surprisingly, Kento. And for me, romance anime is always at its best when there are multiple couples we are trying to root for. And this season of it provided that. Light 9. Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. Watching this feels like I was just watching trashy romance. And the main thing carrying this show for me was Yuki, because she was just a gremlin. But even her antics could not save this anime for me. Light 6. At time I got reincarnated as a slime season 3. This season felt like a lot of setup and world building, with the conflict with the Holy Church at the beginning and Tempest officially being recognized as a nation. The second half of the season felt more political, which some people may not like, but I actually liked it, and I cannot wait for more. Season 7, Restoria, Wand and Sword. I love anime where the main character does not have any powers, but despite that, they're arguably the strongest character in the show. And this show provides it. The animation for the show is fantastic. The fight scenes in this show are fantastic. Some people will say the plot is very generic, but for me, that's what makes it so special. And it's probably my most underrated anime of the year. Strong 8, Too Many Losing Heroines. It's a harem anime where all the main girls are losing heroines. We got the blue hair girl, the childhood friend, the quiet introvert, delivered. It's a very interesting concept that provides a lot of comedy and a lot of heartwarming moments. Strong 7, Spice and Wolf 2024. This is a remake of the original Spice and Wolf anime. This show does a lot of things that I love, in particular with witty banter between the main characters, having a fantastic dub, and having an interesting world. It felt like I was watching a masterpiece at work, and it's easily one of my favorite anime of the year. Light 9, The Elusive Samurai. If you're at all interested in Japanese history, this is a show for you. If you do not like comedy taken away from serious moments, it's not the show for you. It tells the story of Tokuyuki Hojo, where his clan is completely wiped out, and he's slowly trying to rebuild it. It's a show that is very serious, but sometimes the comedy can take you out of it. And it has a very unique art style that may throw you off, but provides very excellent fights. Decent 7, True Beauty. To me, this felt like a good adaptation for the manhwa, but it lacks in animation quality, which you can see a lot. But despite that, I had some enjoyment watching it. Decent 5.
Bleach, The Thousand Year Blood War Part 3. This was my favorite season of The Thousand Year Blood War so far. Every single episode this season provided a top tier fight, and the ending for these fights were always so unexpected. Also, this season showcases that Bleach has fantastic side characters. That's because Ichigo was not really a part of this season, outside of for the first and last episode, and it honestly did not feel out of place. Some people may say that is a bad thing, but I think it's a good thing. That's because you have well-established characters that can carry the weight of the story. Light 9, Code Geass, Rosé of Recapture. Watching the first episode, I was like, oh, this will be a very exciting and unique sequel series to original Code Geass. But in the end, we got a Rush 12-episode series. We did see some cameos from characters throughout the whole franchise, but it didn't lead to a better product at all. Decent 5. Blue Lock Season 2. A lot of people were hyped for this season because this was supposed to be the biggest match in Blue Lock, but the animation quality did not match the excitement level for this series. That was until the last 2 episodes where it went in. The content for this season was top notch, but the animation did not match the quality of the content. Light 7, Rama 1/2. This is a remake of the original Rama 1/2, and to be honest, this adaptation was fantastic. The animation quality was on point, the comedy didn't feel dated, and the characters were very much likable, and I'm very much excited for season 2 of this anime. Decent 7, One Piece Fan Letter. If I were to ever describe what it's like to be a One Piece fan, it would basically be One Piece Fan Letter. It's a story that follows characters that were all inspired by the Straw Hat Pirates, despite never meeting them. These characters feels like they are One Piece fans, as each of them were inspired by a member of the Straw Hat Pirates, whether it was giving them hope to chase their dreams, or the courage to take that step to save some person you love. It's probably the best animated One Piece content we ever had. And it's probably one of the best singular stories told in One Piece in a single episode. And it's easily one of the best anime released this year. Strong 9, Oshinoko Season 2. Last year, Oshinoko was my anime of the year, and I had a hard time imagining Season 2 would top Season 1, and surprisingly it did. Watching Season 2 felt like I was watching 2 different stories. One was the play itself, and the other part was the going-ons behind the play. And it's something I never thought I would see in an anime. The animation and music was still top-notch, and we got huge details about who is responsible for Ai's murder. And I cannot wait for Season 3. Strong 9, Dandadan. Everyone was hyped for Dandadan, including myself, who has read the first couple chapters of the manga and owned every single volume that's currently released. So I was somewhat excited for this season, and this season delivered. The anime brought a very uniqueness that feels very Dandadan. The relationship between the characters were fantastic. Watching Dandadan feels like watching Demon Slayer for the first time, where this will be a future staple in the anime industry. Strong 9, Frieren Beyond Journey End. Watching this anime, I could not really get attached to any of these characters. That's my only complaint about Frieren. To me, if I would describe what a perfect anime is, it would be Frieren. It gives you strong emotional beats. It brings fantastic animation and fights. Fantastic music that feels like it fits within this world. And a fantastic world that feels it's alive. Even though I'm not attached to any characters at this point, there's never a single point where I think, I do not want this character on screen. Which to me, is a very hard thing to do, because something about a character will annoy you. But this first season felt like it's a prologue for things to come. It may be rash to say it's the greatest anime of all time, but it's not rash for me to say that Frieren is my anime of the year. 10,